If you're looking for a complete guide to the new Veteran Raid Episode 4 or how to unlock the new Projectile Animated Weapon Camo, you've come to the right place. Before we get into the guide, here's a few tips or pointers. Number 1, it is highly recommended that you find 2 friends with mics that you can party up with in Discord. You'll understand why later. But if you can't find anyone to run with, there is a find a party system. Number 2, build your loadouts, but unlike Warzone, you're going to be going against complete AI, so you really can use whatever you want. I would personally recommend running stims and thermites, and then using either the assault or medic kit. Number 3, veteran mode in raids only give you 3 revives per checkpoint. So if you use all of them and then you die, you're going to restart to your last checkpoint. Finally, if you found this video helpful, I'm going to ask a favor. Drop a like. Alright, let's get started. You start off the raid with 2 players inside jail cells and another player tied to a chair with a potato sack over their head. Let's call these players A, B, and Potato for simplicity. Player A is located in the south cell, player B is located in the north cell. For reference, I'm player B inside of this gameplay. The objective of this first section is to lead your potato to your cells in order to free you. The players in the cells must observe the cameras on the ceiling to give directions. Each jailed teammate will have different camera angles to observe. It is recommended at this stage to use Discord screen sharing so your potato can watch themselves from your camera perspective. Potato must first maneuver around a ground laser that oscillates the room, making their way to the corner of the box opposite the wall. The laser clips the box, so this area is safe. After making it to the corner, Potato jumps on the box and proceeds through the doorway to the staircase. Potato now makes their way up the stairs and has to avoid a guard who also makes their way up and down the stairs every 20 seconds or so. There is a box halfway up the stairs that Potato can hide behind or just hightail it straight up to the top. Potato must now also make a jump over a broken gap of the staircase. Be careful, falling will result in a guaranteed failure and a reset to the beginning. Once Potato makes the jump, it is time for player B to exit the cameras and distract the guard outside of the cells by constantly talking to him. Meanwhile, player A guides Potato to their cell. Player A will untie and remove the sack from Potato's head. Once Potato can see, pick up the gun on the table and proceed to eliminate the 3 guards in the room. Once they are eliminated, unlock the player cells with the big red button. We ended up missing a guard, but we recovered. Grab loot from the enemies and proceed west and climb out of the double windows next to the stairs. Careful not to trigger the laser from earlier. Regroup at the blue door on the west end of the room. Grab your loadout once you are through the door, as well as restock on ammo and plates. Head southeast through the door down to the garage bay. At this stage of the raid, you have 2 choices: silent and sneaky, or violence. For the silent choice, just crawl underneath all the trucks on the left side until you reach the end. You may have to fight a bit. However, we chose violence. Once you are at the end of the tunnel, 2 players head to the south end where you will find a gate. 1 teammate must stay behind on the north end up the stairs to buzz you both in. 1 player must press the button on the other end of the gate to keep it open for your 3rd teammate to also make it through. Continue south to the end of the hallway and melee the elevator rope. Drop through the hole and continue south. This next stage of the raid marks room number 1 of the Lazer Rooms. In all 3 of these rooms, the lasers will move in a pattern and you will have to strategically avoid triggering any of the lasers or proximity mines. Be careful not to shoot them, you will fail. For room number 1, hug the wall along the right, using the obstacles to stay above the ground lasers. Jump on the boxes in the middle of the room and then jump down to the square opening further down the room. Crouch underneath and jump over the lasers, preventing you from getting to the door located here. It would be recommended to go 1 person at a time in this room. Once all 3 of you make it to the door, enter the smaller room to disable the lasers. This will trigger a checkpoint. Proceed southwest up the tunnels to Lazer Room number 2. You may encounter a couple enemies in these tunnels. In room number 2, you will run down the middle of the room avoiding the diagonal lasers that crisscross, and crouch behind the boxes in the middle of the room. You will wait behind these boxes until the triple horizontal lasers cross over those boxes and move past you. From there, you can sprint off to the left to a safe area, then go southwest to a gate at the far end. 3 players can do this at a single time if you're confident enough. Once through the gate, disable the traps behind you to trigger another checkpoint. In room number 3, the lasers in this room rotate counterclockwise 180 degrees and then reverse, rotating clockwise 180 degrees. There are also a couple enemies on the other side of the room. Eliminate them before proceeding, otherwise this might happen.
You little bitch!
Now I'm on a time crunch to save his ass. Wait until the lasers start moving counterclockwise, turn right and go through the room, climbing onto the boxes that are on the northwest end of the room. Use these boxes, jump on the 2 cross beams and over the railing.
This man's cracked!
I got you. Restock on ammo and plates if needed, then proceed through the green gate just southeast of the railing and fight your way through the tunnels. There are annoying riot shield enemies with powerful shotguns here. At the south end of the tunnel, regroup at the green door and proceed up the smaller tunnel. Once you make it up to the room at the top, crawl through the vent at the southeast end. Jump down through the hole at the end of the vent, then restock ammo and plates once again if needed. At this stage of the raid, you will be in a room with a map on the wall that has a bunch of enemy indicators, 5 vaults, and 1 special indicator in the shape of a box and a skull. These indicators are all juggernauts. We'll call this the Juggernaut maze. One player, let's call them player A, will have to stay behind and guide player B and C through the maze using the map because player B and C will not be able to view their own mini-maps. Again, the recommended strategy here is to have player A screen share their map in Discord for player B and C. Player A will also be responsible for defending their own position in the map room from waves of incoming enemies, as well as be responsible for turning a valve on the east side of the room that disables various gas leaks within the maze that block pathways player B and C may need to pass through. Start by having player A press the red button next to the metal door. Player B and C go through the door and travel through the maze guided by player A to find and eliminate the Juggernaut marked with the box and skull. Once eliminated, the Juggernaut will drop a key card. Once you pick up this key card, one of the 5 vaults in the maze map will show a location indicator for the Warhead core. You will need to take the key card to this vault to unlock it and grab the core. Once you grab the core, take it back to the map room. Player B and C will have to take turns holding the core because it will damage the holder. Once player B and C arrive, player A will need to be ready to open the metal door with the red button again. Once you have the core in the map room, take it to the northwest doorway and deposit it into the box on the south table. Then proceed up the stairs, going northwest through the various tunnels, and you will eventually regroup at a gate. Turn left after the gate and use the key card to open up the double door. Proceed through the hallway, restock on ammo and plates, change your loadout if needed, and proceed to the next set of double doors. Once you go through, immediately take the zipline to the left and go up to the top. Fight your way through a couple staircases, gates, and hallways until you reach a gate with a red button. One player must hold this red button for another player to pass through the gate. The objective here is to have somebody at the top of the elevator meleeing the ropes to bring it down to the ground. Once the elevator is dropped to the bottom, all players can jump down to the bottom and down themselves. This will restart you at the checkpoint with the elevator already dropped for the final part of the raid. Take note of where the restock ammo and plate boxes are at the bottom of both staircases. They will come in handy. When you are ready to face the incoming waves of armored, riot shield, and juggernaut enemies, group up at the back elevator door. This will start the waves. The enemies will smoke the doors that they come from, but hold your position and use explosives for juggernauts. Use the stairs as necessary to fight. It makes it easier. Pick up the juggernaut's miniguns if you get a chance. That'll make things easier too. Once the fighting is done, regroup at the same elevator door that started the waves of enemies, and you will have successfully finished the raid on veteran and unlocked the beautiful new projectile weapon camo.